Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So, a big question that we receive all the time is what do we do to protect our roses? What do we spray our roses with to prevent insects and any kind of diseases that would happen with our roses? So we're pretty excited today because there's a product that we have been using for the past couple of years now that we've used on and off, just trying different things. And I know we don't always get to that question because we've tried a number of different products to make sure one thing's going to work or another.
What really works.
Yep. And I think one of the biggest things that we're trying to lean towards is the organic side of gardening, because that's definitely something we want. We'd love to have our birds in the garden. We'd love to have the bees everywhere. So that's a big plus, is having a organic garden and being able to use products that are organic to the garden, because we want to have an ecosystem in the garden regardless of...
Which that is very helpful too, towards, keeping down all the bad bugs in the garden, having a great ecosystem.
So the product we have been using for the past couple of years is a product from Ivy Organics. So we just received this box. We were running low on some of the other product we have, but Ivy Organics, I don't want to block Angie's face here.
It's okay.
So Ivy Organics, it's an awesome product that we've been using for the past couple of years. Like I said, it's a 3-in-1 plant guard, and you get... they have a number of things that you can actually use for gardening. I know we get questions about fertilizers as well.
Yes.
You can close it that way.
No, it's okay. So I want to show it off. It's so pretty too.
So we get questions about fertilizers as well, and Ivy Organics definitely makes a great fertilizer. We've used it before, but I want to talk a little bit about the product that we're actually using for our roses. So Ivy Organics it's used as a foliar spray, a brush on, or a tree paste, and it's just depending on how much water you add to a can. So there's a different thing. There's a paint can that comes with the product, and then there's a spray bottle. You can get it as a foliar spray.
Bring out the paint can so they can see it, which it goes a long way.
So here's the paint can, and this is definitely what I prefer because you can mix this into a foliar spray. And for those of you that have a fruit orchard or anything, and it's not just for roses, you can use this on shrubs, trees, fruits, whatever you want to use it on. But I'm going to talk a little bit about the product. That way you know what it's for. So it's an anti-transparent product that goes onto plants. You can use it for cloning and transplanting as well. It seals prune surfaces and reduces plant transplant shock. The main thing that the product was intended for was to curb weather extremes, and that's summer sunburn, winter sunscald, and windburn for those fruit trees. And it also offers total plant protection on the leaves, stems, and trunk. Another thing that it's used for is, like I said, it's a 3-in-1, so it's also used for rodent repellent, which it contains castor oil, spearmint oil, and peppermint oil.
Which smells amazing.
Yep, as well as rosemary oil to repel those rodents that don't like those scents right there. And it's also a insect repellent as well. So it contains garlic oil for aphids, ants, beetles, borers, caterpillars, slugs, termites, whiteflies, antifungal. And it also has cinnamon oil, which repels ants, termites, and antifungal as well. Then clove oil, termites, scale, thrips, whiteflies, mites. Scale and thrips are one of those things that we're going to deal with here today as well. Then it has peppermint oil for ants, beetles, cockroaches, flies, moths, mosquitoes, and rodents. Rosemary oil, mosquitoes, flies, fleas. And I always forget how to say this, but diatomaceous earth, I think that's what you say, insect repellent and oil absorbent as well. All right, so I know that's a lot to say in one breath, but definitely a beneficial product that we're going to be using here in the garden. But I did want to show you. So here's a foliar spray. You can buy it as a foliar spray. Again, I prefer to buy it as a can, because you can use this as the paint, or the paste, but you can also mix this into a sprayer and make a foliar spray out of this as well. And then, like I said, Ivy Organics also has some fertilizers. You have a 333 organic fertilizer here. You have a 222 all-purpose fertilizer. And then the big boy here, we have another 333 organic fertilizer. And these are all used for fruit, trees, vegetables, ornamental, roses, and flowers. So you can use this for quite a bit. And then there's a Super Blend Plus. It uses azomite. That's a volcanic soil that's used in here. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into this product.
I've actually used this for annuals, and it really does work awesome. So it's an amazing fertilizer as well. So
and the size difference is this makes 120 gallons, this makes 20 gallons, and this one makes 20 gallons. Again, there's a 333 and a 222. This one's the same as the 333, but it's a bigger bag. Okay, so as I said, I like getting the paint can because I actually get more product and more use out of the paint can than the foliar spray. Not to say the foliar spray is a bad thing, but I like to use it more than what is recommended, which is 3 times of an application as a foliar spray. But I like to use it because we have a lot of roses. We have a lot of stuff that's going on in the garden. So this actually takes me a longer way than the actual foliar spray. And I get to use multiple applications of this. Because we get a lot of rain. We get a lot of rain around here, and that causes a lot of disease, black spot, you know, when the water dries onto those.
So that was something that I wanted to bring up because there's a lot of question too on, you know, on our comments about black spot on hydrangeas. I'm talking about microphylla hydrangeas, big leaf hydrangeas, the ones that take, you know, the shade, they're in the shade. And they get that black spot, the humidity. We get so much rain here, like Ambrose was saying. And right away, you know, the leaf starts to, you know, get black spot. So this right here is what helps. Now, they're not leafing out yet. They're barely waking up the hydrangeas. But I think in the future, as they start to bush out, we will go ahead and show them that too, how, you know, to spray those beauties too as well.
So what we're going to do today is we're actually going to spray our roses because we're starting to get our first canopy of foliage. And that's something we definitely want to protect against is when we get that new growth, we want to protect it from the rain, the sun, and then, you know, you got the fall, spring, and then we get another spring, cold snap that just comes out of nowhere. So we definitely want to protect that foliage and the roses. And then
the whole garden. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I didn't want to forget this. You're talking about the sun scorch. You know, tender plants, like new baby plants that you bring, you know. We don't have, I'm not going to say that it's really strong sun because we have more of a shade garden, but you still want to protect it sometimes from, you know, the young plants.
All right, so as I open the can here, you have the mix here, which is the powder here. And then it comes with I already opened this right here. It comes with a vial of the oil here. So it tells you exactly on the can how to mix it here. And it's supposed to make about 5 gallons of foliar spray with just this one can. So again, that's why I buy the can, because it goes a long way when you spray your garden multiple times because you want to protect what's going on in here. So it basically tells you how to make this, and you basically, again, it makes for 5 gallons, but you can also make gives you directions for a 23-ounce spray bottle by adding 1/3 to half a teaspoon of powder with 5 to 10 drops of oil, adding water, and it says to filter it if you're using a spray bottle because you want to make sure you don't get any clumps in there that clogs it up. I don't filter it because I'm using a bigger spray can here. A bigger sprayer here is what I use to make my mix, so I don't really do any straining to prevent any clumps in there. I usually use it all in one use. So basically what I do with that is I just take the 23 ounces, multiply that by how many I need for a gallon, and add that amount to make my whole canister here of spray. Okay, so I've already made my mix, so as we begin to spray, one thing you want to keep in mind, just like with any product that you're going to be using in the garden, use gloves just in case of irritation. One thing I do recommend is not to do this on the windy day. Right now there's a little bit of wind, but we're going to go ahead and work with that because I need to get these sprayed during the work week. It's kind of hard for me to get out here and get all this done. And another thing you want to do is wait till the sun's coming down a little bit, because as always with all garden products that you use in the garden, as far as insect control, disease control, whatever the case is, you want to wait till pollinators are not in the garden or actively feeding on anything. Right now we have not many pollinators out, but the big bees, the carpenter bees, are starting to come around. So you want to go ahead and spray it when it's getting a little bit darker and they're not active anymore in the garden. So as I'm spraying this product, and if you've used this product before or you plan to get this product, one thing you're going to notice is that it's going to be looking almost like a white milky substance, and that's the product color, which you can also get. I forgot to mention, you can get the product in white, green, or brown, but that's going to be the color you're going to get normally in this foliar spray. And the white just shows that you're actually applying it correctly and that it's on there. It might leave a milky substance once it dries on, but it dries on porous, so it's going to let the plant actually still breathe and retain those sun rays and all that stuff in there. So like I said, it's a very good product, but that's something you're going to notice when you start spraying it on. And I know one thing that we forgot to mention, and one thing that Angie loves, is the smell of it. With all these oils combined here, makes for a lovely scent in the garden. It's nothing that's going to be, that's going to give you any nausea or anything like that, unless you don't like some of these oils in here. But it's a lovely smell. It's not a bad smell at all. So it's something great whenever we spray around here that we thoroughly enjoy. It's not a product that we spray and we immediately want to run inside because you don't want to smell any of this stuff here. All right, so I had to get a little bit higher up here to get this whole climbing roll is completely covered in the product. But one thing I did want to mention when applying this product is to be sure you get the underside. Now, it's a little bit easier with this climbing rose because obviously where I'm spraying is on the underside. But because it's a climbing rose, you want to get a little bit higher and actually get the top of that foliage as well. Don't know if you can see, yeah, you can still see me here. But you want to get the top of that foliage as well to protect it all the way around, especially up here where we're going to get a lot more sun, because this is the part of the secret garden here where we get a lot of sun up here. So this rose gets way more sun up here than it would down here. So you want to make sure you get the top side of this foliage as well. But remember to spray the underside as well as the top side of this foliage whenever you're spraying the rest of your garden here or any of the other roses you got going on. All right, guys, let me jump into this video real quick because there's a few things I forgot to mention before we close this video out. Ivy Organics is actually made by a friend of ours who has a YouTube channel by the same name of Ivy Organics, where they have many, many videos that shows you how to use this product, not just for roses and what we use it here for, but for many, many other things in the garden. Ivy Organics products can also be found in a number of stores. I know on the West Coast they carry it in a whole bunch of places, and on their website. We also have a promo code for you that you can use on their website, Garden10, where you can save 10% off on their products. But again, just wanted to share that information because it's a great product to be using in the garden. We've been using it here and it works tremendously. Let's get back to the video.
So, as I said before, we use it on hydrangea as well. This is a mountain hydrangea, and it's very much like also like the microphylla hydrangeas. So, what I was saying was that I wasn't going to start spraying now because it didn't, it didn't really have a lot of foliage, but it's already starting to put some on. And I'm going to go ahead and start targeting this right now. And as it starts to fill out, then I'll come back and do it again. But that's what I do. That way it doesn't get that black spot because it's raining here a lot, and I know that it's going to end up happening. And this helps us protect the macrophyllas and the mountain hydrangeas, the big leaf hydrangeas, from getting the black spot.
All right, so I'm following Angie out here into the side of the garden because we have a few things we need to take care of. One thing for sure we need to take care of is this Viburnum here. I'm gonna go around this way because the sun's just blasting right there. And
I'm gonna start on the bottom.
So the one thing we wanted to talk about this Viburnum here. So the Viburnum has, see if I can get in here real quick.
This is a snowball
it's a snowball Viburnum. And I'm trying to zoom in here real quick to show you guys.
I don't want to get you.
This guy has had some scale going on. I don't know if you can see that on some of the branches there. I might insert some video here if I get something separately, but it's had some scale on here, and that's something we definitely wanted to deal with. But
I'm coming around.
Rather than scraping it off or dealing with it in a different way, Angie's going ahead and spraying it because what this product's going to do is actually going to suffocate it, and they'll eventually die. But the great thing about this product and why we want to use it is because, again, like we said, it's an organic product. And one thing I've noticed, and I'll insert some more video here to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about, the birds are actually picking off the scale. And because we have bird feeders here, we like to welcome the birds and, and feed them here. We don't want to introduce any pesticides or anything that's going to be harmful to the birds as well. So the good thing about this product is it's not going to harm the birds that they decide to eat or pick at it, and it'll hopefully suffocate all this scale and prevent it from coming back or doing any damage to this Viburnum. As you can see, it's looking beautiful. It's ready to burst open, and we just don't want that scale to really affect it. But that's pretty much what we use the product for, is to prevent, because that's one of the biggest things is preventive maintenance, is preventing any of these insects or bad diseases from coming into the garden.
Right now, this right here is a panicle hydrangea. It's asleep, you can't really tell, but one of the things that we used it on was when they were newly planted, because they're really sensitive to getting sun scorched, especially in the summer. So this worked amazing. It doesn't need it anymore, but we do it just to protect it once it's leafed out. We're not going to do it right now, but once it's leafed out, we use it. But great thing to use when you first plant them in.
Yep. All right, so we're going to continue to spray the rest of this garden. This is pretty much an all-day thing. It takes quite a while to get the whole garden because we spray everything to prevent any of those insects or disease from coming out, especially with the weather starting to warm up here. You start getting those insects that are waking up from the soil, and that's where most of the insects in the garden is going to come from, is from the actual soil. So that's one thing we're going to do, is the preventive maintenance again. So
yeah.
Quite a bit of stuff to do, huh?
Yeah, like right now, I forgot to tell them, those arbs, guys.
Yeah.
Plants like those too, because I know that sometimes they end up getting disease too.
Yeah, definitely.
Great product.
Yeah, so we're gonna close this video out with just spraying the rest of the garden, and hopefully you guys took something from this video. Hopefully you guys definitely go out and check out this product, because it's definitely a product that we've been using and it's actually been helping. And again, that's a lot of the questions we get is, what do we do to take care of our roses? Why do they look so great? And this is one of the products that we use in the garden that has our roses looking as great as they do. But again, that's gonna do it for the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Okay guys, so I'm not even playing with you, but this is one of Angie's happiest times in the garden. She loves using this product. That scent is pretty amazing. I know, like I said, there's a lot of products out there that don't smell so great, but this one is one of those that you can definitely deal with.